We are homegrown, born in Calgary and raised on curiosity. We're storytellers, media makers, and we believe that creativity thrives in collaboration and community. We mix mentorships with hands-on learning and support artists for positive mental health in the media art space. This series follows the pursuit of our vision, a van that's part camper, part studio, part classroom, a workshop on wheels we call the Creative Caravan. You'll see our wins and our wipeouts, every episode bringing us that much closer to our dream. This is the story of our journey to help you share yours. This is the road to Creative Caravan. Okay.
Karen Phillips has a potato pie in the fridge.
What? What?
Vocal warm-ups.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. What's up, everybody? Thank you to the Red Deer Library for hosting us. We're going to have a brainstorm today. What are we doing? We're going to be talking about the Creative Caravan. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I'll show you later.
Yeah.
I hope you like the intro. What we're going to be doing today is actually going through what the Creative Caravan is going to be. We've talked a lot about the intention behind it. We've talked a lot about the research that's going into it. Now we're going to actually talk about the thing itself.
Yep.
So my man here is a nomad van expert, and you've been doing a lot of the research, digging into it. You're a gearhead, a self-professed gearhead.
I am a gearhead. I wouldn't say expert, more van life theorist.
Theorist, okay.
I've been researching this sort of thing. I've wanted to do van life like my whole life, and have been researching different types of vans and schoolie life and all these different things for like the last 10 years and stuff like that. So we're gonna put some of that to the test, and we have a very static looking van right now that we're gonna just add a bunch of stuff to. We're gonna go through our essentials.
Yeah, we have some color coded because we want to be organized with this.
As organized as we can.
As organized as we can be. So these are going to be the essentials. These are the non-negotiables, the things that we're going to need for the van that's going to help us actually like getting out there, traveling, being able to host some of these workshops. Mm-hmm. These are going to be the nice to haves. So things that are not necessary right now, but will eventually be necessary once we start rolling out a little bit longer trips and things like that. Mm-hmm. And this is the dreams. Mm-hmm. So if we had all the money and all the resources in the world, what would this van have that we would want on the van itself? So I think, and we have some yarn because we want to get just fully into into this. And we're just going to have fun. It's going to be an off-the-cuff type episode. It's going to be non-scripted. This is as scripted as we're going to get. And I think this is going to be fun. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it, guys. I pushed for the yarn because I wanted it to look like we were trying to figure out a crime scene here. So not essential, but for me it is. I'm a very visual person. So.
It is a non-negotiable?
It is a non-negotiable.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, so just to rephrase here. So red is non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Green is
nice to haves.
Nice to haves. And blue is the dream.
The dream.
Okay. Let's do it.
Get it.
And break. Where do you want to put essentials? Right here?
I think we can just kind of draw around, like essentials, like what, like,
color codes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so, essentials. So obviously the van is essential, mm-hmm. but you've done a lot of research on what type of van we would use. What kind of van would be ideal? And, what does essential mean when it comes to just the van?
That's supposed to say essential.
Love it.
That's my writing. I have a 10-year-old writing. Maybe worse. maybe 8-year-old.
It's fine.
So when we're talking about essentials, like let's focus on the exterior, I guess. Like this is a pretty straightforward like Westphalia. This is like the typical hippie van, right? So
Yeah, this is a blank canvas. This can
Exactly.
be any van you want it to be.
100%. So my absolute needs are that we need like standing space inside of there, right? Like we're going to be like living out of this thing.
Yeah.
The proper standing space will allow us to maybe house more than 2 people inside of the van too.
Yeah.
So this is going to be very crude, but
Okay, it's got to be higher.
it needs to be higher. We need to have that camper box onto it. And then we're also needing to keep in mind that this type of van is going to be more than likely going off of the highway paths.
That's
right?
true. Yeah.
So we need some proper clearance here,
Okay.
right? We need some proper suspension and some good tires to get us through some of the dirt roads.
Okay. Here, let me see. Some meteor tires.
Meteor
We're
tires.
going to grab some big tires here. This is my bigger tire. Bigger tires. And then you're saying suspension, right? Because we're going to be going off-road. We want some like pretty decent suspension
Yeah.
in that baby.
Awesome.
So we're not like bottoming out at every like pothole.
Yeah. Can I see that?
Oh yeah. I like what you said because it's like, I mean, this is going to be this van is going to be here. Let me grab a black pen here, or actually a purple pen. It's going to be like part living space and oh no, and then part like, you know, it'll like an editing studio too. Like there's going to be
like
a
portable
place to edit.
Well, yeah, this is going to be our creative hub wherever we go, right?
Editing studio. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and I guess speaking of that, like speaking of kind of this part of it, right, the podcast and the editing studio, we kind of want this to be able to be off-grid, powering itself.
Yeah.
Right. So nice to have, or sorry, this is essential. I think we need some sort of power system. We need some sort of power bank to live in this, and we'll get into this later, but maybe something to power it and sustain itself would be a solar panel system up top. But definitely an onboard power system that we can run mics, we could run and charge equipment and gear and that sort of stuff. Like that's something that we'll need as well.
Absolutely. We can't always rely on being able to plug into wherever we're going. Like idealistically, this would be everything from like our classroom to our living space, our editing space, our filming space, and it's not essential right now, but it would be really cool if the back end could like open up into like a big old.
That's
old
blue.
screen.
That's
That
blue.
is blue. That's blue. You're right. I'm getting ahead of myself.
You're getting ahead of yourself. All right, let me see that.
Scratch that.
Spoiler alert.
See, it's like it wasn't even there.
Can I see the
Can't
red?
even see it,
So
yeah.
it's going to need a power pack somewhere in here, and then a computer. There's got to be a central unit that controls all that stuff, right? I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah. So realistically, like
This is my battery.
to keep us powered through the week, I would call this essential. So what we would need is probably a 2-battery power system that is separated from our main car battery that powers everything.
Right.
That's going to be hooked up to a 3-system charging, or
What?
three
Okay.
charging system. 3 charging system, which essentially looks like solar panel unit, maybe 2, hook into here, solar.
I was doing some research on solar panels, and you can get some pretty flat, like portable solar panels now that output quite a bit of
Oh, absolutely.
like power now, and they're fairly inexpensive-ish, like compared to what they were a few years ago, right?
Most battery bank systems will have a combo unit that has their branded solar panels. on it, too.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So what we would want would be
We need a sponsor, by the way.
right. Jackery, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, DJI's got a good power bank, you know?
Yeah. Who's got the best power bank? We won't know until we test them.
Yeah. Comment below for a chance to win a sponsorship for us.
For us. So 200 watts that would go into, like a good starter would be 200 watt power banks. Or not power banks, sorry, batteries.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So the first point of this charging system would be solar. The second would be allowing the batteries to start charging the moment that we turn on the vehicle, right?
Right.
So how do we ignition start or ignition charge? I guess there's a word for it, but I'm not going to look it up.
Yeah.
Comment below if you think I'm a dummy. Ignition charge, and then also while we're driving, that momentum will also allow us to charge.
Okay.
So we need that system as well. Driving charge. Again, there is a professional word for it. I'm not going to look it up. So idealistically, that would be, and then everything would be transferred into, I would push for like a 2,000 watt inverter, like a power bank.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah, okay.
Pretty hefty system, but at the end of the day, we're looking for this to keep us charged and ready to go every single day for about a week while we're on the road.
Yeah, I think like because we're going to be in remote areas too, we're not going to have power, we're not going to be able to port into power everywhere we go.
Mm-hmm.
So, hoping to be able to at least be sustainable enough to be out for that week or whatever, that we can kind of power off of like this system itself, with being able to pour it into power when we can to be able to charge what we need to. But I mean, it would be nice to have this kind of self-sustaining system so that we don't have to do that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then it just adds to our kind of that sustainability factor of it. I'm going to draw a bed just because we mentioned having a sleeper. Mm-hmm. So somewhere in this area here, I'm holding it backwards. We're going to have a little bed, a little pillow, so we can catch some Z's. And also, I guess, some chairs and stuff that we're going to use for people coming over. Is that a pillow? Oh, it doesn't look like a pillow. This is a bed. I'm gonna write it down here. This is a bed. Okay. The next thing, obviously, that's kind of in with what this we were talking about the power is connectivity. We're going to need a Wi-Fi connection for when we're out and about. That's going to be essential to being able to, obviously connect to all of our resources, to our suites, our Google suite, to be able to transfer footage, that sort of thing. So we're going to need some sort of. I'm going to try to draw the Wi-Fi signal here. Hey, that's pretty good. Okay.
There we go.
And then a little thunderbolt.
Do you guys like my steering wheel cookie?
Love it. So we're going to need some sort of Wi-Fi connectivity. Now this could be, obviously Starlink is the biggest one and the most kind of reliable one. I'm not sure actually what else exists outside of Starlink that would be able to do that. But we're going to need some of that connectivity, which will draw from the power. That's again to keep the community kind of engaged and be able to kind of post when we need to. A lot of the places that we're going to be going to, based on just our initial research, they don't have a whole lot of connectivity. They don't have Wi-Fi and stuff. So it'll be nice for us to be able to do that and to be able to provide that if we're doing workshops from the van itself.
Absolutely.
And that's the goal, is to have workshops here.
Yeah.
Love the bed.
Yeah, I do realize I drew bed in different color. The bed is essential. Can I steal that?
Oh yes, bed essential.
Bed essential.
We were also chatting about an extra fuel tank system or fuel system or some sort of off-board fuel that we would be able to use, right? Which actually, before we get into the fuel, like I had brought up to you that, hey, it would be really nice to have a diesel and a diesel engine, but then you brought up some like red flags.
So like the biggest part of, I guess like the biggest struggle with finding the right frame for this sort of thing is both space and the maintenance behind it, right? Which is why even when we're talking about like our most pinnacle van life conversion sort of scenario, I think I would stay away, sorry Mercedes, unless you wanted that sponsorship, I would maybe stay away from Mercedes because they are very nice vans. You see them all the time in van life culture and people influencing out of like Mercedes vans. But the moment that those things break down, it is a lot of money to try to fix.
Is that, yeah?
And most of the time, you do have to go through a dealership. I might be wrong. There might be some third-party ones out there, but more often than not, you're either going to be waiting for parts to be ordered in and are going to be paying an arm and leg for those parts. So the cheaper option when it comes to the Sprinter vans, I've been looking at the Transits. I think there's a little more space behind the Transits, so Ford. Ram has their own version of the Sprinter vans as well. And then when it comes to the diesel too, they're very powerful vehicles. They're very powerful engines. They can be very fuel efficient as well. But the moment that that thing breaks down, it could be a hefty price to try to fix too. So if one of the cylinders breaks, that could easily be like a $3,000 job.
Gotcha.
If numerous of them break at the same time, like when one breaks, usually another one is going to follow up behind it. That just stacks up, right? So
You're just better off buying another van, sort of thing.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, we were talking about extra fuel. I think that lines up with like external storage.
Right.
So when we're talking about the external part of the vehicle, the best way, because there's going to be numerous people living out of this thing and working out of this thing. We don't want to put all of the storage just inside the vehicle. I think we need some external stuff, but like that's going to lie with like having some extra jerry cans on the side of the vehicle, maybe some extra tripods, stuff that we're not like, it's not the end of the day or like the end of the job if that stuff goes missing or gets broken. That's going to be on the external part. So like you can buy lockers for like the back of the van and stuff.
So yeah, so it's something external that we can strap onto the back of the van, stuff that's not non-essential for us, but this will actually be quite essential because we do want to carry some extra fuel. We want to be able to carry some extra gear and equipment and stuff, even our stuff that can go out there as well. I think this will be pretty important, and there's a few places probably that we can put that as well. Like depending on the van we get to, we can get roof racks and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I guess the point is because we're driving out to areas that might not have fuel readily available, we want to be able to have that fuel available to us at any point in time.
Yeah.
So,
can I steal that?
Of course. I like this already. Okay, the next thing we want to talk about is a security system, which obviously draws from the power, but something that we are going to want to have because the goal of this is to carry a bunch of equipment to areas, and as kind-hearted as we are here in Alberta, there are some people who are unsavory. So there is some, security issues, and we want to avoid that as much as possible. And by and large, the reason why we want to kind of remain and sleep in the vehicle and live in the vehicle as well is so that we don't have to leave the vehicle unattended. But a security system is something you brought up and something that's important, I think, for this as well. So
yeah, I've had experience living out of different vehicles, like with the band and stuff like that. And as secure as things feel with having numerous people inside of a vehicle, it can still feel like you're trapped in a box in the middle of a city that you've never been in before. It just helps a little more peace of mind to have something back you up, like a security system or a camera that can capture anything that goes on. I remember this one time we were all sleeping inside of, it was before we even got the van, we had a truck and trailer, and we were all sleeping inside of the trailer with our gear, and our truck ended up getting graffitied while we were sleeping inside of it. So,
and it happens, yeah.
Yeah. So, what I have here is like a camera in the back. There's some systems that can double as a backup camera too, which is awesome, especially the bigger the rig gets. It just helps you out more when you're trying to get into tight spaces. Backup cam that doubles as a security camera. A lot of the times people will try to get in through the back door, so that's a thing. And then another thing I was playing with too, which can come into the certain type of like van models as well, is having some lights, some floodlights.
We have a yellow marker.
Hey. So some lights that go around as like a perimeter light in case we ever need, and like when we're doing things in the evening, it just makes it really easy to find what we're doing and where we're going.
I don't know if this is going to show up on camera, but it makes me happy. So some lights, there we go.
And on another note too, I want to state that this type of van is not the best for van lifing, especially in Canada. For like the big reason is these giant body size windows. So So especially in colder weather, there's like no insulation whatsoever unless you're putting that insulation on the inside, which like why would you have a window anyways? And then secondly, it's just inviting people to break in and put half their body in and grab whatever they can before they come back out, right? So we're actually
Oh, we're getting rid of the
gonna
windows.
get rid of the windows.
I guess get rid of the windshield.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That one needs to
Yeah.
go. No, but that, yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, we want a solid body there,
Yeah.
and honestly, like, with something like an RV or something, we might have something to cover up the windows at certain times as well, right?
Yeah.
We honestly don't know what this van is going to look like. This is just kind of like the archetype of what the van might be. But I mean, it could be, you know, a GMC Sierra or even a camper or something like that. We don't know.
Absolutely.
But I mean, everything that we're talking about here is something that can go on any one of these
Everything
vans.
in the red is stuff that we will be throwing onto anything that we end up getting, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
The other thing we had, obviously, there's some intangibles. There's some things they're not on the van, but if I can grab the pen from you, things like insurance, obviously, for this sort of type of thing, we need to figure out what even that looks like, because this is partially a place of work, but also a moving vehicle, right? So that's going to be something that we're going to need. Obviously, that's essential for us. Is there anything else that you can think that might belong physically on the van that we might,
Like on the outside.
or you know, in the inside as well, right? Like your
Yeah,
wonderful.
let's focus on the inside a little bit here. So all we really have is like the bed, right? But we're gonna need lots of internal storage as well. Maybe above the bed, along the back side. We have all this space between like the cab here to the bed. So we want to figure out what needs to go in there. We were talking before about like being able to cook and like have a water system. It would be nice, but I don't think it's essential, especially if we want to get going like right out of the gate.
Yeah.
It's cool to have a van that has that stuff included already, but if not, then it's not the end of the day. So what is a deal breaker is 100% storage. So I think a good portion of this needs to be storage and shelving for everything. If we're going to have more than 2 people sleeping in here, we might need to have something that folds out, that turns into a bed up top as well.
Oh,
So you
yeah,
can
something like
house
that.
maybe 3 people, 4 people in there at the same time, because we're going to want to bring a team out to these anyways.
Yeah.
And if not, then if we get to a point where there's only like a couple people in here, that turns into extra space for storage too, right? So maybe
Totally.
a little bed system. We were debating about a toilet and whether or
Yeah.
not that is essential. And I'm going to say that it is 100% essential to have something just in case, especially if we're out in the bush. So I'm going to put that in essentials. I'm going to write
Essentials.
that in red, toilet.
Or at least a shovel we can dig a hole with this
Yeah.
outside or something.
Yeah, toilet system. They're really small. They can fold away and be put into a shelf when you're not using it. Right? So,
Yeah, I can dig
Yeah.
that. I think something else, just from like the infrastructure of the van, I think there's going to be some air circulation that we're going to need. So I don't know, like, I mean, definitely some sort of fan or something. How do you draw a fan? Oh my goodness. I'm going to draw, this almost looks like a radioactive symbol. I'm going to draw 4, so it's not a radioactive. So some sort of fan
yeah.
or
some
extractor
sort of, like,
circulation.
external AC system that can run to our external power.
Yeah.
And I would push for an AC system over just like a fan, because like what we're the time of the year that we're planning on doing this is like mostly, what would you say, like spring, summer?
Spring, summer for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And it can get like, we call it wildfire season here for a reason. It gets freaking hot out here, right? So I don't think we need to push for a heater right now. You can buy full systems that can be made off grid that both heat your vehicle and is also an AC unit.
Yeah.
They're quite pricey, but a lot of people in the van life community like really rave those. I don't think we need that right away here, unless we decide that we need to start doing things in the winter. Then this van completely changes, right? So,
Yeah. The summer gives us a little bit more flexibility, but it does get hot and it does get pretty dry. So I think something like that, some sort of HVAC or extraction system is going to be pretty essential. Again, depending on the vehicle we get, there could be already an AC system within the van that is, within the camper. but we do want to kind of keep in mind that it is going to be hot out there, and there's going to be multiple people living in here, so
Yeah.
that's going to also be a thing. So yeah, a fan or some sort of HVAC system existing within the van. Is there anything else? Let's see. I think a lot of what we chatted about has subcategories, which is the next pen, which is nice to haves, or things that, these would be the next step, right? So a fan would probably be the first step just to get out there, but then the nice to have would be an HVAC system, or an AC or a heater unit as well, a propane like heater or whatever that looks like as well. So actually backup camera, as you said, would be part of the nice to haves, but
Yeah, let me fix the backup camera. Like the security system is an absolute, but if we can get something that doubles with the backup camera, fantastic.
The next one up is a cooking area. You touched on that a little bit. Right. So this is kind of the next step, right? We're going to be out there and we want a place that we can cook or at least prepare some food at.
Cooking spot here. That allows for flow because this is going to be where the doorway is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we need extra flow, we can always open up the door. If someone's cooking some gross, stinky stuff, then we have some airflow, right? We were also talking about a sink system too. So
yeah, the water system. So there's the fresh water, drinkable, potable water, and then the non-potable gray water, within these as well.
And that's considering if we want to have plumbing for an actual toilet system, or if we want to do just the compost. If we want to do just the compost, then you don't need to worry about the gray water at all.
Yeah, I've seen they have little pumps that you can use for washing dishes or whatever. That's just for the sink.
Yeah,
and it's like a recyc water system for whatever that looks like, right?
Absolutely, and then you don't need I don't think those ones are connected to the frame as a giant water tank system.
Yeah, it's just a pump. Weight, right? Or sorry, it's just it almost looks like a jerry can. It's just underneath. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that we can anticipate for and build within, because it'll be, I'm hoping at least that this will be kind of modular and grow with us as well, right? So we'll probably keep the water system and that 2-tank system or whatever we decide to go with as the goal, and then we would build around hitting that goal, right? So we build the shelving unit to be able to host that water system and that semi-plumbing system, right? Something I did want to, I don't know if this is, I think it's essential, but it kind of toes the line. It has a spectrum of it. The internal lights for this thing, right? Because we'll be outside and there's light up until almost 11 o'clock at night in the north, particularly if you're going way up north. But the internal lighting system, we want to be able to work inside of this thing as well. So obviously, some essentials are going to be lighting inside, but then some nice to haves would be kind of that track lighting that gives that warm glow of lighting inside of the the inside of the van as well, right?
Yeah.
Something the inside so that we can work. Obviously, power charging stations inside the van is going to be important for us to be able to do. So that's something that I thought about just now. But then, what kind of lighting to have inside? I love the look of the track lighting, that kind of hidden underneath, so everything just kind of glows. Yeah. I love that kind of stuff as well. Ooh, something I do want to put in, nice to haves. So I figure this is just above the dream, but still it'd be nice to have, is some rotating seats for both the driver and the passenger. And this kind of allows us to rotate the seats and have extra seating. I'm going to draw a little arrow here. Have little rotating seats so that we can have extra seating there, and be able to seat and host more people inside of the van. It would be nice to have and be able to save up for it now and spend our money on it now, because it is a little bit more expensive, but it is kind of like that. It allows more space and more sociability with inside the van. So, and I like when both turn around.
Absolutely, and I think we could get away with just having some old captain's chairs that have that already. So we could probably scrap those. But as soon as you do roll it around, I'd say even having so if these were captain's chairs, we'd have a little slot here that we can attach a little table to.
Yeah.
Right? So it immediately opens it up. We have some dead space here that we still need to fill in, either with storage or something like that. But now we have 2 sitting spaces and a little workstation there too. And there's usually a 12-volt that we can connect a little power bank to. We have a full charging station there too, right?
You know, something that might be essential because, you know, essentially we would want to have this as like one of many cars that go out into these spaces as well. But what if, like, you know, the van is the only thing that's available and there's 4 people that have to come in it? I think something that we might consider, and I don't know where it would go, but would be a couch with some seat belts in it, right? Because the seat belts need to be bolted into the frame for it to be legal. We don't want just people bouncing around in there like it's the 1980s. You really want to be able to have like a couch with, I don't know how to draw a seat belt. Whatever. This is a seat belt now. So a couch with seat belts so that we can have 2 people sitting back there as well, right? Uh-oh, what's that?
How do I draw this? It's a shopping cart. A reinforced bumper on the front with a little winch in case we get stuck. Then we at least have a few options on getting ourselves out before we have to try to call someone.
Oh, that's a great call, right? Man, yeah. Oh, you know, something we haven't touched about with this, which is completely the facade of the exterior, is color, you know, decals, that sort of thing. We don't want to bring attention to ourselves.
Yeah, but we also want to make it look cool.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
I mean, people go super all out with some of the Sprinter vans.
They do.
It looks like they're camping out of it, but you can make it very incognito. An 80s style camper, or the camper that we were looking at, the older one, it's very obvious that you're living out of that thing. Right?
Yeah. And it's like canary yellow.
Yeah.
So it's very noticeable. Something I was like looking into is actually like the spray Teflon that you can get on the sides, because we're going to be going through some rough roads and stuff. I don't know if you'd veto this, but I think like having the under, like all the third of the van that is kind of like lower to the ground, having a spray Teflon underneath there kind of looks badass.
Absolutely.
And then if we like gunmetal gray the rest of it, it's very low key, but it's also like super noticeable.
I like that.
I don't know how well that would look on a 1970s like van, but
I know some little cheaper tips and tricks too, because like I had an older Jeep that I actually completely rock guarded, but I was
there you go.
way too broke to actually get the actual like rock guard. So what we did, I think it was Flex Seal, a bunch of Flex Seal that we bought.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
Then we bought like an oversized paint gun, and instead of like, because the normal Flex Seal or the normal rock guard will have like that grit to it.
Right.
We crushed up a bunch of like walnuts.
Oh, that's amazing.
Mixed it in with the paint, and it gave pretty much the exact same texture. So. Just make sure you got the right gun for it, because if you got just a normal paint gun, then you're going to get it clogged and you're going to be real unhappy, and then you're going to complain in the comments to us, and it's not going to be my fault. So
Flex Seal and walnuts.
Flex Seal and walnuts, all on the bottom there.
All on the bottom.
Yeah. I like the gray, but I'm super privy to like kind of that like that matte tan look, or.
Oh yeah. That's a cool look.
Too.
Yeah. That's cool, yeah. But something low key, and then we don't have to put a whole bunch of like, you know, decals and, you know, flashing lights and stuff. Just something that's like really us, and then a small little Firelight logo. Well, that's essential.
There we go.
Oh, here, I'll give you this one.
Yeah, we wanted to go against, like, because we have a bunch of different things that we're going to be filming out of this, all with their own marketing and their own logoing and stuff like that. We could fit this up like it's about to drive on a NASCAR track, but that's asking for even more attention from us.
Exactly.
Right? Because people can look and see exactly what we're doing just based on the logo. So an idea that I had is that we can buy gigantic like car magnets.
That's a great idea.
Having like a folder of these different magnets for the different projects that we're doing, and then we can just slap it on the side of the vehicle when we decide to film with the vehicle.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah. So like removable
logos, essentially. Yeah.
Logos. I think that's pretty good for nice to haves. I think.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now, the beautiful.
Oh, the pinnacle.
Blue pen. What's that?
Yes, the pinnacle.
Okay. If we had all the money in the world, you'd already drawn it over here.
Mm-hmm.
But you brought this up, and I love the idea of having a big inflatable like movie screen,
Oh yeah.
right?
So part of what we really want to bring out to communities isn't just teaching film or anything like that, but helping these participants create their films too while we're out there. So if we can do that, then why can't we have a portable screening at the end of every program too? And why can't we have that fitted as part of the van, right? So an idea that I had was to open up the back and have this big inflatable screen that pops out, and then we can
How do you
have.
spell inflatable?
Well, you're real close.
Hold on.
I don't know if there's an R there though.
What? Something that I had seen this was years ago, a van that came through, and they screened some of their films from the back of this art run center, and they just had a mount that literally it sat in the back of their van, and they would just put the projector in there, and it kind of was like a universal mount for a projector. So having that kind of bolted onto here and do a little projector. I'm gonna have a text on screen when I roll this, and it's just gonna say not to actual size.
Yes. Awning, and then external canopies.
All right, where were we? So the awning, obviously, to sit outside. We're gonna hopefully have workshops and stuff outside of the van. So if there's a lot of sun or whatever, we can bring that out. But then, all like you said, portable
Canopies
and
stuff like that, just for little segments. Yeah.
I like that a lot. Nice to haves would be some sort of wild ass cap, a stereo system, a sound system outside of the van too, right? Some sort of banging sound system that's gonna
surround sound, yeah.
that's gonna benefit this as well, for people who are coming to watch their films, because it's one thing to be able to screen it at a community hall or something like that. But if you have something that's intentionally a cinematic experience, it makes it so much better and so much more meaningful for the people who have created this thing to see it in the way it's, meant to be seen, right? So
absolutely.
I really want to create that experience. That'd be really cool.
I'd even go, I'm gonna add just a little top-down view of what this would really look like. So the van would be here, and this would essentially be the projector, right? So there would be a little awning that would come out here just to keep all the externals safe, but it would be projecting out this way towards a giant inflatable screen, right? And then we'd have maybe a couple canopies set up here for people to sit under if they need to. So van, project, that's a project. And then we'll be able to hook up a surround sound little system for speakers, right? So little speaker here, little speaker here, little speaker here, little speaker here. So the van just turns into a portable theater, right? And then this would be pretty much the same setup as when we go to do our programs, our teachings as well. So part of the programs will be showing different sections in movies and stuff like that. This is probably going to be the setup for it, right? Yeah,
this lends itself to that classroom setting that we can do as well, because we could potentially just use this as the classroom, and then instead of having the big inflatable screen, something that's more realistic, we could just have a screen like a TV or something that we would show and be able to do this on, or just a big white sheet or something, And this would lend itself to being able to do some of these classrooms on the go, saving money on having to rent a space, but also working with some of the community organizations to host it in an outdoor area, right? Which is, I think for me, it's a little bit more engaging when it's in an outdoor area. And then you can go right from there to doing stuff,
Absolutely.
I really like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, if money was not an object, we would be able to do this. But I think this is still something that we can kind of work towards. Maybe not the 170-foot inflatable screen.
Yeah.
But definitely this kind of thing, the awning and the projector and all that stuff. This is something that we can definitely work towards. Something I'm, kind of want to start to build into our planning right from the beginning. Like I said, this is we'll grow into it, is a podcast studio inside, but also outside, So a setup like this awning and with the removable logos and stuff would be amazing to do like outside.
Yeah.
But then you mentioned it earlier, like Alberta has massive wildfires, and if it's too hot outside or if it's really smoky out, we want to be indoors where it's a little bit more comfortable for the podcast people. So what does your ideal podcast studio look like inside the van?
Absolutely.
From maybe this side here, we'll switch sides.
So I've been playing around with this like since the first season of Voices of Resilience. If anyone's coming from like those episodes, you'll see we really tried to do the nomadic thing at the beginning of the series. We had to switch to studio setting for season 2 just for a few different reasons. One of it was location. It was really hard to find a location for all of these different settings, and we've had some cool ones in the past. We were able to film it like inside of a teepee. We were able to film inside of like a log cabin. I was trying to figure out a way that we could bring our podcast studio with us, and the best way to do that is build it out of a van. So the ideal setup for me would have the awning out. It would have our logo here, so people know. And then it would be the same setup that we do for every episode. It's just 2 people in front of a fireplace, in front of a centerpiece, right? But that fireplace gets to be real now. That fire gets to be real,
like
and
that.
it helps tell the stories a lot more when we're able to do it on the land. And if anyone has seen episode 2 of our journey to the Creative Caravan, you'll see us actually driving inside of a vehicle with a 3-camera setup. That was kind of the first time that we did it, and it made me really excited.
Until I broke your mount. I'm so sorry.
It was a $8 plastic mount, but the concept worked greatly. So like if the weather sucks, if it's really windy and we just can't hide from the elements, we would do everything from the inside here, right inside the cab. And there's depending on how we set this up, there could be numerous places to film inside of the vehicle, right? We could do it in the cab, a 3-camera setup, 1, 2, 3. Or we could do it from the other angle here. We could flip the cameras around and have our centerpiece be this little table here and still have a 1, 2, 3 scenario. Or we could turn this into the dining room area, have the table and the couch if we want to do like a full panel situation. If we have like maybe 3 or 4 people that we're interviewing, then we can all sit at the round table here and it would be the same sort of scenario. 1, 2, 3, right? We have the cameras already, we have the gear to do this, we just need the vehicle to be able to set everything up with. So
I love that. Yeah, man. The modular, what would you call it? The modular design of this is to kind of be able to utilize that at any point in the van, which actually is like a good way to kind of say that like we want to focus on the aesthetic of the van throughout, right? We want it to have simple, easy to use and easy to shoot lines and stuff like that within the van. I also wrote. I drew a little camera and I wrote stronger mounts.
Stronger, yes.
So I don't break them with my big ham hands, something like
Part
that.
of the funding will go into some stronger mounts.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'll be able to repay him for his $8 mount. So having that mounting system here, and then having options to be able to mount that in places that are very intentional.
Exactly.
Right?
Whether
I
you
almost think
film-
that's essential. Like it's really essential to be able to modularly control where you're going to shoot and have within the van. I love that.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to be doing numerous projects out of this thing anyways. Like I think the most essential part of this is how we set up this van. Like whether we want, it's so cool. People get so creative with their van builds, with their schoolie builds.
Oh yeah.
People have found ways to attach like fold-out staircases to the side of their vehicle
instead
of having a ladder, having a deck on top of their vehicle too, so that they have a better view when they want to sip their coffees. Like if money wasn't an option, we could film from every single angle of this van and have a completely different scene every single time.
I love that. And I love the idea of having this as like a walkout, because the van that I have that bead on actually has a very flat roof. And
Absolutely.
It's got a little like a skylight on the top, I think.
There we go.
And then some space for a van. But if we can remove most of that and then just use that as a podcast like area as well, like just like go sit up there, that'd be rad.
Turn the skylight into into just like a little hobbit hatch that you can open
There
up.
you
And then
go,
the ladder
yeah.
folds down and you can just go up onto the deck, right?
Podcast deck.
Podcast deck.
I love that. And being able to just park out in nature, out in the prairies or the mountains or wherever we are, and have that as an option, that would be incredible to do. And have those same like mounting systems on the top too, right? Some place that we can screw down an actual stand with, so we can put the mics in, or the cameras in,
Yeah.
Something that's intentional, that's going to last a long time, that sort of thing. That'd be incredible.
I keep thinking back to like the message behind the logo for Homegrown, right? The little spark. It's like this is going to be our campfire. This is going to be our gathering point for so many different projects, whether it's Creative Caravan, whether it's the numerous podcasts that we're going to be filming out of this, or like the day in the life stuff. Again, no matter where you look at this van, you'll know exactly what it is, and it'll tie everything else together. Like this is going to be just as much of the logo as the actual logo is, and just as much a team member as everyone else that's piling their whole lives into it to give their expertise to the different communities that we're going out to, right?
Absolutely. And this, I mean, it's something, we haven't talked about, and maybe a good kind of way to wind this down. Something that, we didn't talk about, but there are going to be multiple vehicles in this caravan that we have, right? This is the type 1, of what this van might be. But you're also looking into purchasing a van for yourself, or some sort of van that we can utilize as a podcast studio. But if we want to coincide some of your shoots with some of the Creative Caravan like workshops and stuff, we have all these vehicles that we would hopefully, we're not buying a fleet by any means. I mean, we're scrounging up our nickels to buy this thing, but I think, like we're really intentionally growing into something, which is like the exciting part for me. So tell me a little bit about what you want in your specific van that we haven't talked about for this van.
Yes. Well, I plan on like really diving into van life at some point. I've even considered like selling my own place numerous times, and like getting rid of everything that I own that doesn't fit inside of a van, and just like trying to make it work. So like we're talking about the non-need for even a heater for this, because we're doing a lot of the stuff out of the summer. Like the van that I'm planning on building for myself is going to be insulated. There's going to be we're going to be running a new flooring that has some heating that's all connected to an off-grid system. So no matter if I'm in the bush or at a campsite or parked in front of my best friend's lot for 3 weeks, taking up all of their power and their water and using their shower, I still have all of that connectivity, right? Another thing too, now that I'm talking about it, I feel like I would have a bed that does fold into a couch just for filming purposes, right? So
Yeah.
I like the versatility and the modular nature of being able to like change this whole thing on the fly if I want to. Still needs to be off-road. Still needs to have nice hefty tires, because I'll be trying to live through this in the winters as well, and that's something I really want to try to push myself towards. Is like pushing my own internal limits. I hate the winter. All I want to do is hibernate in the winter, and I feel like it's really easy to do that when you have a safe grounded space like a house or a mobile home or something like that. A lot harder to get comfortable to the point of not moving if you're in a smaller vehicle like this trying to live out of it. And that kind of excites me. It scares me, and it excites me. I need to get more comfortable with the uncomfortable, and I feel like that's going to be like a sure shot way to do it, right? So yeah, other than that, everything else that we talked about putting into this thing, like that secretly, like I'm making my notes and I'm putting all of that, except maybe the inflatable screen, into my own vehicle too. But
you could borrow it from us.
Something way down the road that like kind of excites me. Like we were kind of joking about like not just like buying like a whole fleet and like doing it, but it's going to be cool to see the community get bigger and people wanting to jump onto this and help out with it, to the point where we need to look into getting more than just one vehicle to come out here, or even like retrofitting an entire like big schoolie for this sort of situation as like the main station, and then having all of the other, like seeing this slowly turn into a fleet organically, and having everyone's like captains of their own
Oh,
bands
man.
jumping onto
Oh,
the ship,
yeah.
and then like jumping into the fleet, and then like everyone has their own little flair to it. Everyone's like doing other projects that are dedicated just to theirs, but everything clicks together into the main umbrella that is Homegrown, that
Yeah.
is the Creative Caravan, that would turn into the Creative Fleet, and then just having it come together and click together like a giant Lego piece. Like that's my little like selfish creative, like I can't wait to see this actually play out, and I'm
Oh,
making little plans to like have like an awning system that connects all of our vans together so we can just hang out in there, and that's where
Yeah.
we'll have our meetings and our little like creative jousts and stuff. And
I love that. I love that. I just picture getting a text from you that says "circle the wagons" and then just like
yeah. Circle the wagons. I want to try something, and it's like a new gadget that like connects to all of them. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait. Well, this is a good snapshot. Obviously, there's going to be things that we're going to learn. I mean, this is day 2 of planning this thing. It's January 2nd today, and day 2 of planning this. So this is going to become a blueprint of what's coming next. And what's coming next is our road to actually buying the van, purchasing it, getting ownership of it, and then starting to kind of fit all these things in. If you are in the position to do so and want to help us reach this beautiful goal, please consider donating to the link below and helping us reach this. And if you cannot support monetarily, share this video around and let people know what we're doing. I think that's also equally as important, if not more important.
Yeah, and if you have any like information, if you have lived the van life or you're thinking of doing it yourself too, we'd love to hear your experiences with it.
Yeah.
If there's anything that we missed, because undoubtedly we've missed something with this. Like it makes sense to us, but looking on the outside perspective, I can see how this can look a little crazy. So
I don't see it.
I really don't see it.
I really
But
don't.
yeah, if there's any other like solutions to the things that we're talking about that we haven't like touched on, like please let us know. Like we're still learning too, and we're constantly like taking in more information. So if we have a community out there that can help us with that information, that's amazing. And if this is something that would interest you or you think that would benefit your community, like reach out to us too, because we're going to be starting the analytics and like the research to see where we can bring this to see where like the different communities that would be interested that we can bring this out to. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Everything he said, and follow us along, like and subscribe to us because it helps a lot. It helps the channel grow quite a bit. Whoever's kind of out there who's interested in this and kind of wants to see how close we can get to this. Like this is the goal. How close can we get to this? Follow along. And yeah, hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed being in our mind, which is a scary place for most of us, and seeing what we're going to create. And I hope we can get pretty close to this. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah? All right, cool. Let's get it. I'm excited.
It's perfect.
It's beautiful. You got your strings up.
Yes, I did.